24/7, 365. The fantasy season never dies. Welcome to Every Day is Draft Day. Presented by Champions Round.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to the latest edition of Every Day is Draft Day. I am your host, Dan Turner. Joining me, as always, thankfully not melted from the heat, in Michigan, Steffi Smalls. What's up, Steph?
What is up? It's hot. Kaya doesn't even want to be outside. She's like so annoyed. We just went for a walk. She laid down on me. So she has no interest. I have no interest.
No one has any interest, apparently, in going outside. Kaya doesn't have interest, and no one's going. That's how it works. So today on the show, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be doing, Steph and I are going to be discussing some of our picks for players you should be drafting in the best ball format of fantasy football. It's not something we've really talked about a lot on the show, but now we are. So as always, I will be going first because this is how it works around here. As we all know, Steph never goes first. All right, so my first pick is someone that I will be hopefully drafting in every best ball format at the quarterback spot, and it's Jalen Hurts. Yes, I know I'm an Eagles fan, but I think that Hurts has his rushing potential increases his floor abundantly. He got massive upgrade at the wide receiver position with AJ Brown. He has another year in the system. So, the purpose of best ball is to make sure everyone gets those, get those spike weeks, so you can win games. So, in terms of the quarterback, unless you're getting Josh Allen or Justin Herbert, I'm definitely going for Hurts in this format.
Yeah, and we talked about him a lot. I actually love, I like Hurts in every format at this point. I think especially, redrafting best ball, you're going to get really high ceiling from him, and you're going to get a guy that also, even if he gets hurt, you're getting the points when you need them all those weeks. And he's got all the weapons. We have basically exhausted how we're very pro outside of Dan's bias, very pro Eagles on this podcast. We like what they've done. We like the direction this team is going, even though I'm about to vomit as I say that. I think he is a very, very nice best ball draft also, obviously, in almost any format. Unless you're one of those people that thinks that he's not the answer for the Eagles, which you could be, so maybe you stray a little bit away from him in Dynasty. That's one thing. But, again, in your redrafting your best ball, big fan. I feel like he's a nice little, can we make up NFC East QB stacks? I think taking Hurts and then taking Daniel Jones much later on is a very fun little NFC East QB stack. So even if one goes down, we love these very mobile quarterbacks, and they both have that. So I think both teams are much improved, again, as we've exhausted here. So I like that one. Always going to like that one until, just not on weeks you guys are playing here. Okay, I'll do a running back. Let's go with someone that's older. I'm not really understanding the ADP here. Leonard Fournette. He was averaging 9.4 scrimmage yards, 15.8 fantasy points per game in 2021. He had 10 total touchdowns. That was tied for the most in his entire career, averaging his career high 4.5 yards per rushing attempt last year. The Buccaneers re-signed him for a reason. I thought that Tom Brady made a very funny comment when he was headed to the Patriots to check it out. He's like, "What are you doing up there?" He had a great chemistry with Brady. They said goodbye to Rojo, let him walk. Yeah, I understand that they did, draft Rachaad White in the second round, but even in these best ball, then draft them both. If that is your knock, then draft them both. I don't know that Rachaad White isn't a reason that you shouldn't be taking Leonard Fournette, who is still in a very prime, beautiful place in his career, on a team with a quarterback that likes to give him the ball. So I'm in on Leonard Fournette going way too late. He's still a guy, especially in best ball. I understand the argument for our older guys as, dynasty comes into question. But, Fournette is just like a James Conner. I don't know why both of these guys, league winners, still league winners, going to be league winners. So if you're going to not take him in redraft and dynasty, fine. Best ball is the way to go. You want Leonard Fournette.
Perfect. It's one of the older guys that Steph loves, but not in Dynasty, which is how we got the
Yes.
title of the show. No, I agree with you.
Yes.
I think, Leonard Fournette had one of the quieter, running back one seasons last year. He was a, top 12 back. He only played 14 games, so but with Chris Godwin being hurt, I expect him to run even a little bit more, honestly. So that only works in his favor. So I think that you're absolutely right. I think that he's not the flashy new toy, not the flashy like Brees Hall or and these younger guys, but he's a guy that's just gonna go there and get it done for you. And sometimes in basketball, you can't always have a guy scoring 30 points. Sometimes you need that guy that's going to be there and give you that 15 to 20 points every week. And he's one of those guys that you could definitely get later on, because it seems that no one is really paying any attention to what kind of year he had last year. So in that respect, I definitely agree with you that, yeah, he's a little bit older. Yeah, he's not a great name, but he's one of those guys that you can get in your drafts that's going to win you, your league.
And I see myself doing this too. I know, like, you're in drafts as well. Like, I see myself very drawn to these young guys, and I did this last year. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. But it's really nice to come up with these scenarios of what this player could do instead of taking proven guys. And I feel like in best ball, this is a great opportunity to like combine them both. You can take the young guys that you think have a very high ceiling, but there is something to these very proven guys. And I think that, Leonard Fournette is one of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's something that I think that happens like overall, especially, with fantasy Twitter, is that everyone, loves the young guys, and it's the hot names and stuff. But then you have these older guys, and another great example is someone like Adam Thielen, who isn't young, but, he's going to be there. He's going to, give you those points week to week. And sometimes that's much more important than, the young guy that might be, the hot name or have a couple of hot weeks, but sometimes when you need him, he's going to score like 6 points, and then, you're effed for that week. So, I definitely agree. And the values for these guys are incredible. These guys are going in the late rounds,
right?
Because everyone's pushing them down to get the young hot guy. So I definitely agree to that point where, and Fournette's definitely the running back version of Thielen in this example, where he is going to be the guy that you draft, best ball in any format really, but especially in best ball, where he can, win you that week.
I'm like right now, I want to see, like, Adam Thielen's a great example. I love that reference. And again, we do stick to what we do love. And we talk a lot about productive offenses, stacking the Minnesota Vikings. And, he's going off the board at wide receiver 35. Like, come on. I mean, like, that's at that point, like, what round that even end up being? Like, he's definitely another guy that's a fantastic option to take there. And I think you probably have a wide receiver that you want to talk about as well.
Yeah. Actually, I'm changing my mind.
Which is a good one too. We were going to say Russell Gage, which is he's a great scenario, especially with the Godwin injury.
Right. We always talk about Russell Gage. Everyone knows we love Russell
Gage. We talked too much. I'm actually glad you came off of him.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with another name. I'm actually gonna go running back as well. Someone that didn't actually play this year, and that's Travis Etienne. I think that a lot of people are have concerns about him legitimately because of his injury, and that's a legit concern. But James Robinson is not going to be ready to start the year if he's going to play at all. We don't know how good he's going to be when he comes back. Jacksonville, after Etienne, doesn't really have much in the way of running back depth. So I don't see where like the problem is with how many like targets or carries he's going to get. He's going to get most of them because he's the top guy. I mean, like maybe like the rookie they got, Snoop Conner, maybe like gets a couple carries, but like Raquel Armstead, like come on, like that guy is not going to be the guy that takes care for him. They have a new coach, it's not Urban Meyer's system anymore. It's Doug Peterson's, and Doug Peterson system is really good for running backs. I know everyone wants to point to Philly and say he had 7 different running backs with Sanders and Scott and Howard and stuff, but that's not the kind of personnel that Jacksonville has. Jacksonville doesn't have that kind of like a couple different backs that can do everything. Like Etienne can be that guy that does everything for them. So the only legitimate concern I have is the injury. If he comes back like healthy, I think that he'll be a great find in like the middle rounds for running back. I think that I do have to say though, I think that the whole familiarity with Trevor Lawrence is a little bit overrated because they're not running Clemson's system. It's not like Dalvin Dabo is coming up from Clemson and coaching the team. So, it is a good thing, but I don't think it's that much of a big deal as people seem to be making it. But otherwise, I just think that, he's the complete back. He has the catching, the receiving, and the rushing prowess to be a fantastic running back this year. And I think he's the exact type of guy that I want in best ball, because he's going to have, the Jacksonville Jaguars aren't like flush with like A+ weapons. I mean, yeah, they signed a bunch of receivers this offseason, but none of them are really like wide receiver ones, or haven't shown that, at least so far in their careers. So, Peterson loves to, throw to his running backs. He comes from that Andy Reid tree where they use the running backs in the passing game a lot. So I really expect, especially in PPR, a big year from him. So he's the guy. If I miss out on like the top packs, in the top half of the draft, I'm going to definitely see if I can get as much of him as I can in the middle rounds.
Yeah, I agree with you totally. And it's so easy to write off these guys when, he was coming in very touted, very talked about, and he got injured. So then people just you're writing off guys a little bit too quick, but then being forgiving to like guys that burn you all the time. Like, this is a guy that is in a system that should set him up for success. The Jaguars are in a better place than they have been, obviously, with everything that they've added. And Trevor Lawrence is going into his second year. You don't have, the disaster circus of coaching staff that you had last year. And I agree with you. I think he's absolutely worth it. If you can still, even in other leagues too, like he's still a great buy low. I know the hype is starting to pick up for him. That's why it's good to get in on these guys a little bit earlier, because I can imagine his value is getting a little bit depleted from where it was. But yeah, I love that one. I think that's great. And I'm going to, despite you not beating Dead Horse, I'm going to do that because I feel like it's my moral duty to make sure that everyone's aware that Daniel Bellinger is who you want to absolutely take in your drafts all over the place. I think that, I've talked about the New York Giants. Their wide receiver room is not something that you can trust. And for, just the reason off of the fact that they don't have a wide receiver there that doesn't have any type of injury history. And it's not even just an injury history. It's like a little bit more of an extensive injury history. You're looking at guys that have been out for several weeks, have suffered big injuries. Even with Saquon Barkley, right? Like, I think we definitely get back some Saquon this year. I think that they're going to build the offense definitely to complement his strengths. And now you have an O-line that also can help with that. But I think to expect that Ricky Seals is the tight end that you want in this system is just ridiculous. He, last time I checked, he was going prior to Daniel, which could have changed since the last time I did look. But I think that Daniel Bellinger can be that hybrid player that they've been looking for. It's what they wanted in Ingram. Ingram only really gave them that his rookie year. He always just wanted to be like this wide receiver type player, but he stopped fitting the system there. So Evan Ingram, good luck. He's someone that in best ball I'm comfortable taking with as well. But Daniel Bellinger, I think across the board, especially in best ball, like in those late rounds, like don't take a shot in the dark. Like, take a tight end that ceiling is pretty ridiculously high. The Giants offense has to do something. It's going to do something better than it did last year. We're not asking for much. So I think that there's going to be players on this Giants offense that definitely outscore their ADP, and I think Daniel Bellinger will absolutely be one of them.
Actually, I really love that pick a lot. Yeah, which is tough to say as an Eagles fan, but I think Bellinger is the exact type of player you want to take that shot on in best ball. Mm-hmm. Ricky Seals-Jones, as I guess starting now, like depth chart wise, but he's been on 5 teams in 5 years. He's not anything special. Yeah. The Giants have decided that they're going to have a bunch of like Mighty Mice running around with all these receivers they're drafting that are really tiny. And besides Kenny Galladay, the Bellinger will be the second or like the tallest receiving option they got. So that's important, for red zone purposes. I mean, they already have all the fast, quick guys with what's it called? With Tony and Wendell Robinson and guys like that. So they did, and Kenny Galladay is just, I have to see something from Kenny Galladay to depend on Kenny Galladay because he hasn't done it so far. So I think that that kind of pick is perfect. I know like rookie tight ends, everyone says like, it takes a little while for them to be acclimated to the league, but they just need opportunities, and Bellinger should, there's no reason for Bellinger not to beat out Ricky Seals-Jones.
And historically, rookie tight ends on the New York Giants actually do very well if you want to just go off trends and you're a gambling person. You look at what Shockey did, you look what Evan Ingram did, what these guys were able to accomplish in their rookie year. Yes, obviously, I'm well aware that systems are different. I got that and I get that. But if you want to go with the trend, this is a great trend to go with here in Daniel Bellinger. And I think I'd rather take him, over some of these guys that, again, like, you might get some points out of them, but it's like, I'd rather get the ceiling that I could get in Daniel Bellinger and his potential to be a real staple in this offense and someone that they can rely on. And that's part of the problem with the New York Giants is they're not a reliable team. And so if he ends up being that reliable piece for them, like, then great. Maybe they're not a great team. They probably won't be a great team. Like, take their under on their win total. That's fine. But when we're talking fantasy football, I'm all in. Someone's got to get the ball there. And you hope with that O-line, you keep guys a little bit healthier. You keep Daniel Jones healthy. And I think that you see more productivity from this offense.
Yeah. I love that you said, like, the upside. Like, that's exactly what you're looking for in best ball leagues. You're looking for the upside.
Yeah.
You don't want to take like these other tight ends that they're starting for their teams, but they're going to get you like maybe averaging 5 points a game, maybe. Right. That's not something you want to be doing. Like, if you're going to take a tight end, take one that like you said, he could win the job and he could become a staple in that offense, and then you got a starting tight end that's going to be involved in the red zone in one of the last rounds, and that's exactly what you're looking for at that spot.
Exactly. Yeah. He's like the perfect best ball candidate. Like, if you're someone that plays it safe, otherwise, like, he is a great candidate for you in best ball. And I see him having a really big year. It's a shame that, because Sterling Shepard was always one of my best ball darling, but again, coming off that Achilles, you can't really rely on that. And there's going to be someone in this offense. I'm not going to risk it on a lot of guys. If I'm going to do it, especially in best ball, like, you bet your booty I'm going Daniel Jones and Daniel Bellinger. Yeah,
exactly. And that's the perfect kind of thing you should be aiming for if you're doing best ball. These best ball leagues, right. It's someone like that. Exactly. And then that's a great point. Like, historically, the Giants have done really well with tight ends. And even if he does, like, say, like, maybe 70% of like what Freiermuth did last year as a rookie, like, that's great. Like, that's a great season, tight end wise. Like, tight end is a bearing. Like, people don't understand how bad tight ends actually are in fantasy. Like, it's a bearing wasteland after you get past the first couple of guys. So if I was gonna say, and even past
like Freiermuth and best ball, like that. Like, no, I don't want Mike Gesicki. No, I don't. We don't know what's happening with Gronk. Like, Hunter Henry, okay. Cole, like, if you're gonna take a drop off there, like, you might as well just wait and throw some darts at the end. And a great dart to throw for the tight end position is Daniel Bellinger.
Absolutely, he's the best kind of dart to throw in that situation. Yeah. Like, you don't expect him to be like, he's not going to be, he's not going to be, Kelsey or even like TJ Hawkinson or Kyle Pitts or anything like that. If you can get like a Gerald Everett type season out of him, or even like or like a Hunter Henry, even something like that. Like, that's perfect.
Right. And you go into it knowing that when you're drafting a guy like that, and maybe you do get a really good season out of him. Like, maybe he does finish higher than expected. But again, that's why you have that flexibility in best ball to take that and be a little bit riskier.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it is like nobody really knows about Daniel Bellinger because he played at San Diego State, and no one stays up to watch San Diego State football games.
I do.
No one normal. Let me rephrase that. No,
I don't at all. I've never watched. Well, maybe one or two.
No one's saying, But so he was pretty good, but like, his stats don't like portray how good of a tight end he was in college. And no one's saying he's going to be a world beater, but he's definitely good enough to take that top job immediately, and he should, because. Why waste a year of development on Ricky Seals-Jones when you can just
there's no competition. Right. Like, I would rather take him than Trey McBride in best ball. Like, I'd rather take that guy that doesn't have the competition, like, doesn't have some guy ahead of him that's also a known stud. Like, if you're gonna wait past, then like Daniel Bellinger is a great call in my opinion. I mean that in the most unbiased way.
Yeah. In terms of rookie tight ends, honestly, he's probably up there, like top 3 in terms of opportunity. that is available to him. Like Trey McBride is not going to unseat Zach Ertz this year. He just isn't going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a great point as well, I think.
Yeah, love it.
Love it. Okay, so that'll do it for this edition of Every Day is Draft Day. We talked about some old guys that Steph likes, but not in Dynasty. We talked about some young guys, some rookies, and hopefully, we gave you guys a couple of some good options when you're doing your best ball drafts. I know best ball is a big thing now going around. So Steph, why don't you tell them what's coming up for you on your 32 team?
We have so much going on. Jason and I will be doing basically off of Palooza. At this point, he has his show at 7 p. Eastern with Spencer. I will be going on, I believe, at 8, depending on my guest. We have also 7 stakes for that is closing U.S. Opens tomorrow. So go download the app, get in there. What else do we have going on? Daily Dozen, those picks, that closes at 7. Last night was a brutal beating for me, my worst Daily Dozen yet. And then 32 team preview not finishes. I wish I'm looking, but we're moving forward now. So continuing on with the AFC North, and then kicking next week off with the Ravens. We'll be done with that. And then again, every day's draft day. We have another show Friday, tons of stuff. I know you're working on articles as well, but again, Download Champions are on app. All of our stuff's in there.
Discord as well. I feel like you've been on the AFC North
Discord, so much.
For like a month at this point.
I know. They're difficult people to schedule for some reason.
But we appreciate them coming on. Yes, but I have an article expanding on the best ball topic. Getting a couple more people, Russell Gage, some people we didn't talk about today, and it's officially Scott Fishbowl season, so we'll be doing some fun rankings with that coming up, some articles on that as well. So I think that'll be it for today. We'll be back on Friday with another fun show, hot takes and pancakes, more yelling around at everyone. So everyone enjoy your day.
I love it. See ya.
Get some air conditioning, unlike Steph.
Yeah, please.